Okay, so a little while ago, my Saab 92X, which is my daily driver, kind of blew up. By blew up, I mean the engine skipped timing, I think. I'm not too sure. All I know is it was running for a minute, and then out of nowhere, just metal sounding noises, and it began to idle really rough. So, because of that, I had to, well, I was riding my bike for a little while, but then it got cold, as it does tend to do in deserts, and Mustang still doesn't have a tranny in it. Accord still doesn't run, Saab is down, and the bug eye is still yeeted bigly in the back. So I decided to do something different, and I picked up that. This is a Lexus IS300. It's a car I've wanted for quite a while and thought about getting for a long time. Granted, it's no Supra, and it definitely has a lot of quirks, if you will. One of which is that this car was actually owned by a stance boy. So this car used to be lowered, and I'm pretty sure that's why the bottom of the exhaust pipe right there is flat, and these bumpers clearly look like they've been caved in at least a couple times. Taillights are pretty much falling off because the mounting brackets are broken. Has some fender flares that I liked when I first saw the car, but the more and more I look at it, they're kind of ugly, so I'm going to get rid of those. But the fenders have been cut, so I got to be a little creative and probably go with a wide body kit on it. And well, the car does have its idiosyncrasies, like I said. Number one is probably going to be this side. There is a rather loud plasticky flapping noise in when I drive it. I'm going to guess that something is loose, probably like a trim panel or a mud flap or a fender liner or something back there. Me and the homie realized I don't have brake lights. Well, I had one brake light, which was, I think, that one. And when we pulled over to a gas station, popped the taillights at this car, and realized it didn't have taillight bulbs in there, it didn't have taillight bulbs in there. The one in there was burnt out, and there's one there. So, I'll put some new taillight bulbs in there. And there's another really loud, quite bad sounding metal grinding noise. It comes about 30 mile an hour, or 25 to 30 mile an hour, and I'm hoping it's the dust shield on the brake rotor, because if it's a wheel bearing, that's some money I don't want to spend right now. And the other thing is it has a really bad misfire. It has a misfire to the point where it's sounding like it's running on 3 or 4 cylinders. So I'm going to try and sort all this stuff out and get this car smogged and turned into a daily. Now, honestly, because it was a stance car and because I got it so cheap, there are some things on this car I'm really not happy with. But overall, I think everything is fixable. And it's a 2001 Lexus IS300 with 150,000 miles that I got for $2,500, which is a bit of a steal, but it is also more expensive than every other car I've bought. Honestly, fairly interesting thing to realize that you bought a car that doesn't have brake light bulbs. Luckily, it's pretty easy to get these things out. And yeah, we didn't put it back in. I don't think that last owner put it back in right either, so let's get that done now. This is 2 10mm bolts right here to get it out. This is the first thing I'm doing because I don't want to get pulled over. And this car has no registration or insurance, and I still got to get smogged, so be careful with that. Okay, so now once those 2 bulbs are taken out, it's very simple, just pop out, and there it is. I'm going to move this guy over here, and you can see no bulb. I wonder what this is. Okay, there's the turn signal. And backup lamp. Okay, I have those. I just don't have the backup or the brake light. So I'm gonna put that in now. The bulbs I'm using are these Bosch 740 or 7443 bulbs. I was very careful not to touch it with my hand when I was putting it in, and just like so, it barely fits in there. But now we should have brake lights, hopefully. Okay, so I'm definitely going to have to replace these taillights at some point because all the mounting tabs and clips on the back that are supposed to hold it in correctly are pretty well damaged. Also, I think I need a new rear bumper too because this isn't lined up. From what I can tell, since this car was a stance boy car, the guys pretty much destroyed the front and rear bumpers, quarter panels, strut towers, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to have to fix all that. But I got this car for $2,500, which is pretty cheap out here in Vegas. These things are going stupid high right now. Looks like at some point in this car's life it's been rear-ended pretty heavily because you can see a lot of Bondo and panel filler right here and primer. So yeah, let me see here. Surprise, surprise, no taillight bulb. Oh, and the wires have been cut into. That's not worrying at all. Now to replace the ones up here, looks like he didn't bother to take these things, these little pop rivets off, and just decided to rip it off. So I'm just going to turn this one up here and see if I have a bulb. Do I have a bulb? This one has a bulb. I think I'll still, oh, no, it's burnt out. So the one up there was the only one that was actually good. I'm going to put this one in that package, save it, and put a new one in there just to be safe. Okay, that works. Okay, so that took care of the tail light lamp, which is that one. I still have the ABS, the check engine light, and the headlight leveling lamp to do. Oh, and the track is off, so I'm guessing a wheel speed sensor must be bad somewhere. Or maybe a wheel bearing, which is what I think this might be. So another issue this car has is the grinding sound coming from this side whenever you go about maybe 20 miles. Whenever you go about maybe 20 miles an hour. I think it might be a bad brake disc, or it might be a bent brake dust shield that's touching the brake disc. It could be a bad wheel bearing, which I'm hoping it's not, or it could be a brake issue. Car brakes fine and doesn't pull to either side, so I'm hoping it's just a bent dust shield. So I got the wheel off the car, and when I turn the rotor, you hear this. I'm pretty sure that it is the dust shield, so I'm going to push that back and see if that fixes my problem. Also, it's, yeah, not what I expected. The undercarriage isn't too bad, but the whole car just, it's stuff I wouldn't necessarily do myself. Like, this is held on with zip ties. I'm pretty sure I know what the sound is on that side now. It's probably something loose flapping around in the wind because the zip tie broke or whatever. Okay, so I pushed the bottom of the dust shield out that way a bit, and sounds not that bad, but I'm not too sure how good this wheel bearing is. Like, that does sound like it might be going out. Feels like it too. I've never felt a wheel bearing this hard to turn. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is the problem here. On the other side it's pretty well stationary, and here it's like flapping around in the wind. So let's see if we can do something about this. This is definitely the sound, because nothing else here is moving too much. That's the same on the other side, so it's definitely this. It smells really strongly of gasoline over here. Okay, so this is also a bit of an easy fix. What happened was this plastic clip on the back that holds this nut in had come off, so I took the bolt off and I just popped it back in, and now I'm just gonna bolt it back in. So hopefully that'll stop this crazy rattling sound that makes the car sound like it's gonna destroy itself. Okay, yeah, so there's that. Feels more secure now. Not rattling too much. Now to handle a misfire.
Hello, it's me from Video Editing Land. So, I've been editing this video behind me for quite a while, to be honest. This video has been in the making since like before December. But I realized that this video is about 45 to 50 minutes long once everything is set up, and I'm pretty sure no one wants to watch a 45-50 minute video about me fixing Alexis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up. This is going to be about an 8-minute chunk. It's going to be about working on the actual noises and stuff in the car. Then the next video is going to be about the actual changing of the ignition coil, spark plug, valve cover, gasket, painting the valve cover, and doing all that. That's going to be its own video. The video after that is going to be me replacing the key and a couple other things. So I'm going to separate this into chunks to make it more consumable, because even editing it is just difficult at this length, and I'm pretty sure no one wants to watch a 50-minute like movie length video about fixing Alexis. So chunks. Oh, wheels. That's gonna be another video. Wheels and exhaust are gonna be another video because that got done. Radio got done. So there's gonna be a ton of stuff. But it's gonna be split up. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more videos of this car getting up and running, hit subscribe, and do whatever else you do on the internet.